Yo, yo. Yo, yo. What up? What up? Welcome to episode 9 of my Nano Reef journey. That's right. This is the 9th episode. It's a lot of episodes. Trust me. I feel like right now, I'm just sitting here waiting for this tank to cycle. And I think it is. The tank right now is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Everything is nice and clean. There's this one tiny, I don't know if you can see it, it's like a little fuzz. It's right there. There it is. It's a little fuzz. But the tank is still looking really clean. It is a dark cycle, so I don't really expect it to, like, you know, have anything in it, but it is looking good still, which is good news. But how do we know if the tank is cycling? That's the question. We got to test it. And in my last episode, you saw my ammonia kit sucked, so I definitely want to go to another fish store and check my ammonia again to see if it's moving at all. And that was like a couple days ago, so we should see some kind of difference. We did add Fritzime 900 almost like 5 days ago now, and then we added a fishless fuel like 3 days ago. So right now we are on day 3 of said cycle, right? Or well, technically today is day 4, but yesterday was day 3 or whatever. Yeah, so I am live. This is me. It's 6:17 p.m. So it is happening right now. I know a lot of you guys don't believe that I'm live, but I am live. I'm watching you. Today's segments will have some pre-recorded segments from yesterday, which is why I was saying, you know, yesterday was 3 days, today's 4 days. So like, I am gonna show you some footage from yesterday, but that's only because I'm just telling you about what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Part of that is that I did end up getting another Hanna checker. This is alkalinity, so we'll talk about that later. And I got that at I got that at VIP Reef Aquariums, and then we also visited Aquarium Art today, or yesterday, or right now. So we did do that. And then we were looking for Bacter 7 and Dr. Tim's, I think it's called like all-in-one or the one and only or something like that. What is it called? It's called Dr. Tim's one and only live nitrifying bacteria to eliminate new tank syndrome. So that's what we're looking for, and we're looking for it for my buddy Chris. Chris kind of needs some of it. And we can find it, but we have to look for it. And I do want to go to VIP Aquariums, because that's like where, or VIP Reef Aquariums, because that's where Chris said he kind of really likes. So I was like, man, I want to go there. So let's see if they have any of that bacteria. Why do we need that bacteria? Well, Chris is setting up a 66-gallon water box, and he has no bacteria yet. We have algae barn on the way, so I should be able to seed my tank with pods soon. But we also want to get his tank seeded with water at the very least, so that we can throw those pods into there, and then the bacteria, hopefully we find it. I haven't been to VIP Reef Aquariums yet, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I really kind of want to support a local shop in whatever way I can. So even if I can't find it at VIP Reef, we're gonna keep looking, and that's why we go to Aquarium Art, on the hunt for Dr. Tim's. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're doing. We're looking for that bacteria. We're also gonna go to Chris's house. So at Chris's house, we have big plans. We have big plans. We're gonna be putting some stuff up on the wall. We're gonna be installing some swing sets. We're gonna be cutting some plywood. I have my water ready for the test, which I had to turn around for, And when we get to VIP Reef Aquarium, we are greeted with this beautiful rock anemone tank. I mean, wow. And they have the biggest coral selection I think I've seen so far in South Florida. There's other ones, but far south, I think this might be the most. They also have this really cool kind of clown display where they have a bunch of different clowns, and they have freshwater, you know. And they had these really cool Neo Caridina shrimp. I have a couple of the red ones in my 9-gal fluval. I also have these mosquito fish here. The mosquito fish are native to Florida, so I just grabbed them from the canal. This is CO2 fed. It's been up for a little over 2 months now. I really like this tank. This is where the actual red cherry shrimp are. I bought 5, but when I first got the tank, or when it was, I mean, you know, it's only 2 months old, so I put them in there when it was a month after cycling, and I put the shrimp in there, and then I added CO2 right before I added the shrimp, and I realized that there was so much pH swing throughout the day, so I've lost most of them. Now that I'm using like a shrimp kind of like additive for my water, for the RODI water, I could bring my KH exactly to 7, which is where they want to be, and that's going to help a lot with the pH swing. I used to have a full pH swing between the whole day. Now I get like a 0.7 pH swing throughout the day, sometimes 0.8. But yeah, so this tank is doing well so far. I got a couple snails in here too. I'm trying to see if I could find
what's the name of your
the
business,
shrimp,
actually?
but there's like 1 or 2 left in here.
Oh, nice.
It's a shame, but yeah, back to VIP Reef. Some of the coral here was awesome. I'm definitely gonna be coming back here to pick some up once the tank is cycled. They had all sorts of stuff. They also have this really sick section of rock and like kind of scaped rock, and kind of like a bargain bin or like used section here, which is awesome. More fish stores should implement something like this. This is their main display. It's the Red Sea. Wow. I mean, they have like different islands dedicated to like different types of coral, and I finally got to see a big OG bubble bounce. Looking at something bigger than just a tiny little frag, I can see kind of where the hype comes from, but I'm not jumping on that hype train anytime soon. The staff was super dope. They even let me borrow this little clip so I could get like really nice color here of the rock garden. But they didn't have Bacter 7 or the Dr. Tim's, so I have to go to another place. I did get my water red, and from what we can tell, all signs are pointing to we have begun the cycle. We're looking at 1.7 ammonia compared to yesterday's 2.0 ammonia, and our nitrite is now at 0.4. I actually don't know where my nitrite was yesterday, so hopefully all these numbers will begin to lower, and then my nitrate will begin to rise. At that point, I'll be able to do a 50% water change, and I will be off to the races. Let's see how long that takes. And then I had called here on one of my previous episodes to find out if they had one of these color checkers, and they do. They had the Hanna checker alkalinity test. That's kind of like what I wanted, and that's what I got. I also picked up something else. I figured there can't be enough beneficial bacteria in my tank. More is always better. So here is an ice cap. It is a bio brick or biomedia of type. It is a ceramic porous material. It's got something like 3 billion feet of surface like area. So I figured, especially for the Nano, why not, right? This feels like it makes sense. But it is far too large to fit in the back. Actually, not far too large. The back of my tank is 3.5 inches, and this is 4. So maybe it would have been able to fit diagonally, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to fit kind of like stacked up next to each other. So I figured if I can get this cut down to about 3 inches. This stuff is actually a dense arrangement of small ceramic spheres. in a quote-unquote durable and compact form. I'm gonna be smacking it here with a little chisel right at the 3-inch mark. Gotta make sure that we're doing good here. Let me see, 3 inches looks like it's right about the mountain tip. Yeah, right around that mountain tip is gonna be easier to cut. So that's easy. That cut perfect right where I wanted it. I wish that other piece would have stayed more intact, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. We're under the 3.5, so that means we are golden. Let's go put this in the tank. Kind of an extra light on here so you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. Let me get this lid off. Really liking the convenience of like the all-in-one for sure. All right, I want to lower this down there gently. I don't want to break it, right? So I'm trying real hard here. As I'm getting really in there, of course it slips out of my grip. Oop. It wasn't too bad though. I made it. So let me see if I can get this other piece in there a little better. I'm like, maybe I can get into a line, and I instantly slip. Like, all right. Stand it up a little bit. And about here, I realized that like I'm really not happy with that, so I want to make sure that it's nice and straight. And then I proceed to spend like the next 10 minutes trying to get it nicer and get it a little better, but not exactly what I want. So let's button her right back up. Boom, boom, boom. So now our tank is super loaded bio. Hopefully. I don't know. Those bricks are supposed to be good for 375 gallons, which is kind of crazy that like if you really had a 375 gallon tank and that's the only piece of biological media you had in your tank, supposedly that means that it's good. I don't know. But for my 10 gallon, I think it's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? I think I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I also, while I was there, picked this guy up. Dun, 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 dun. It's a handheld colorimeter. It's a Hanna instrument, also commonly called a Hanna checker. These things are just like a water test, like any other one, but it gives you a digital readout. This one was actually on that bargain bin or used shelf that I was talking about. This was $32 or $34, something like that, which is way cheaper than it is new. New is $67, $67.99. However, this guy is expired. The expiration date 11/20/24. So you know, you win some, you lose some. Sure, it is cheaper, right? But it is expired. So $17.99, and I got new reagents on the way. They should be here tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll probably be setting this one up. I think that today, later today, this is the calcium one. We're gonna be checking this one later today. So don't worry about that. We do have more content on the way, right? We still weren't able to find the Microbacter 7. They didn't have any. They also didn't have the Dr. Tim's. Actually, I don't think they had any kind of live nitrifying bacteria. It's a different way to cycle. Not everybody cycles that way. A lot of people cycle with like the live rock or this bio brick, or you know what I mean. So I'm doing all the methods together in one tiny little tank, but like a lot of people only do one or will do none, right? So let's say it like that, right? Some people might not do any. of those known methods. They just kind of try to do whatever they want. In this case, the reason why we're looking for that Microbacter 7 is for Chris's tank. Chris has a 66-gallon tank that I'm helping him set up, and we're really, really, really close. I'm going to show you later on how close we are. I don't know the actual difference between Dr. Tim's and Microbacter 7, like for example the Fritz 900 that I used here. So it would actually kind of be I feel like it would be interesting to really look at them to find out how different they are, right? Let me check this out here. I have it set up. I'm gonna bring up the browser. So let's read and find out, right? Let's do this. So this is Dr. Tim's one and only nitrifying bacteria, right? So they say it eliminates new tank syndrome, which is like when fish get like freaked out by new tanks or whatever, which is why we cycle tanks. It says to use this when you're setting up a new tank, after a water change, cleaning your filter, when adding new fish, and after disease treatment to ammonia and nitrate or nitrite. The key to setting up a successful aquarium is to quickly convert the fish waste non-toxic form. This is done by nitrifying bacteria. Under normal conditions, it can take 30 to 45 days, and that's like the cycle that we talk about, for these bacteria to become naturally established in the newly set up aquarium. And that's why I was saying you don't have to do anything. You just throw rocks in the tank and be done with it. You know what I mean? But realistically, like nobody really does that. You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess some people do that. But everybody wishes they didn't have to wait 45 days for the cycle, right? For years, it was assumed that two particular species of nitrified bacteria were responsible for the process, but the original scientific research of Dr. Tim showed that it is not to be the case. This is the reason why nitrifying products have failed to work in the past. Our nitrifying bacteria are the result of the latest scientific research and are used in public aquariums and professionally around the world. So let's say they use it all over the place, right? Oh, let's listen to Dr. Tim. Can we listen to Dr. Tim? How to use? Okay, this one. That's a minute.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Hovanes, founder
Yeah.
of Dr. Tim's Aquatics. Our flagship product is our one and only live nitrifying bacteria, which eliminates new tank syndrome. New tank syndrome is the biggest problem new aquarists face, and it is the buildup of ammonia and nitrite in a newly set up aquarium. The only way to get rid of this is with nitrifying bacteria, and our product has been shown through many years of research and even longer through use by thousands of aquarists to be the most effective product at oxidizing ammonia and nitrite and getting rid of and eliminating new tank syndrome so that you can be enjoying your fish tank faster and easier.
Sure, that's what I said. So it's got nitrifying bacteria, right? And does it say specifically what kind of bacteria? It doesn't say. It just has like, we have lots of bacteria. Okay. And then Microbacter 7, right? So this is the other, let me make this a lot bigger so we can all read it. This is like the other type of bacteria that Chris wanted. This one has non-pathogenic aerobic and anaerobic microbes, as well as natural enzymes, right? So it's got actual food for those microbes, specifically formulated to establish biological filtration in the new aquarium setups, and enhance the rate of nitrification, denitrification, and organic waste degradation in marine and freshwater aquaria through complete nutrient remineralization. Oh my god, that's a hard word. Remineralization. Remineralization. I can't say that word. So yeah, people have used it for more than 12 years, and it's got a 2-year shelf life. Cool. So there's all sorts of stuff happening. That's what that does. The Fritzzyme, right? What do they say? Because we already read this, right? It has nitrifying bacteria. So this is very similar to very similar to Dr. Tim's, right? And the fact that they're calling it nitrifying bacteria. And then what else? But it also has enzymes. So it's kind of like a little bit of the middle, kind of like the middle grounds, because it's got nitrifying bacteria and it's got enzymes in it, which is called fritzyme. But then none of these products have ammonia, right? And that's why we added the fishless fuel to. That's why we added that's why we added fish fuel, right? So we added fishless fuel because that gives us a start. I guess you could have added just a fish, right? But we didn't want to do that. We don't want to be cruel to the animals. We just want to be as nice as we possibly can. And we want to start as clean and as pristine as we possibly can, right? So because of the fact that we couldn't find Microbacter 7 at VIP aquariums, even though I really liked VIP aquariums, I'm definitely going to go back there to buy some actual coral. The next logical step would be to go to the next closest place. And in this case, that was Aquarium Art. And I thought I remembered there being Dr. Tim's there. I visited Aquarium Art a couple months ago. They're right next to Hole in the Wall. They have a great kind of a mahi-mahi sandwich. I've heard their wings are very good and that their burgers are good. Their fries are super fire. And they always have a good selection of local beers. I was just going there. I was just going to Aquarium Art just because it's next to Hole in the Wall. Like you could go there just like as a tour before or after. Kind of I would recommend after you hang out at Hole in the Wall for a little while. But yeah, Aquarium Art themselves were the closest store. So let's go check them out. And off the bat, these are the biggest plecos I think I've ever seen in an actual fish tank and not like outside in a pond. They are huge and impressive. They got to be at least 12 inches long. They have a huge softies tank, which really shows off how cool leathers can be. And then they have this cool like paludarium, I guess, where it's like half out and half in. They have a bunch of koi. And guess what? They had a bunch of Dr. Tim's. And they had the Bacter 7. But the Dr. Tim's was expired. So we just got the Bacter 7. They have a pretty sick selection of freshwater fish too, with nice clean tanks. And that's like, you know, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, why is it that you prefer a certain fish store over a different fish store, right? And I feel like well, obviously everybody has like different opinions and what is good and what isn't, right? Or what they prefer, right? Or what order they want all these things to be in. But really, I think that when we're thinking about a fish store, there's a couple things that we have to take into consideration. First is cleanliness. And I think cleanliness of the entire store, not just cleanliness of like their display tanks or of their tanks themselves or whatever. I feel like just in general, like, are they organized? Is the place clean? Second, cleanliness of their tanks in general, right? Do their tanks look clean? Would you drop a fish into one of their tanks? Would you be proud of having a fish in one of their tanks, right? The other thing is their display tank, right? So let's talk about being proud. If a fish store is proud of their service, of the way they do their display tank, their display tank is going to be awesome, right? And you could tell the instant you walk into a store, you're like, oh wow, this display tank is cool. The other thing that we really don't talk about too much in the hobby, but we should, is the amount of dead fish, right? And that's why I'm trying to do this like cycle and like fish cycle and all this stuff, because really like fish's lives are important, right? So we want to make sure that we are respectful of a fish life, right? So how many dead fish are in this fish store? Did they even bother picking up the fish in the morning? Like when you got there early in the morning, are the fish just sitting there floating or on the ground, whatever? Or were they respectful enough to at least pick up the fish in the morning before, you know, they got into work? Because like realistically, some fish are gonna die during transport. you're getting 30 fish in that have been overnighted or 48 houred from across the world to where you are. I mean, it's understandable you're gonna have some casualties, right? But there's also like a way to respect those casualties, and there's a way to like ignore those casualties, right? And also, like, just in general, like if the store has half dead fish and half alive fish, that probably means that their water quality isn't good. You probably don't want to fish from there. Maybe they have a disease, maybe they have a parasite, maybe they have something like that. So you know, realistically, is every fish gonna be alive? Hell no. You know what I mean? Like when you go into a plant nursery or like a plant nursery store or like a Home Depot gardening section or whatever, like, is every plant in there perfect? No, bro. A lot of plants are dying. You know what I mean? A lot of plants are dying. But you know, once a plant is looking really bad, they're either going to put it in that reject section where you could get it for really, really cheap, or they're getting it out of there, right? Especially plants that are diseased, because they don't want the rest of their plants to get diseased, you know, especially in a garden center, right? You know, the other thing we could think about is like, maybe like, is dry goods important? Like the amount of dry goods that you have, are the dry goods, you know, up to date? Are they not? Like at Aquarium Art, they had the Dr. Tim's, and I would have grabbed the Dr. Tim's from there, but it was expired by a lot. So like, it was 2023, I think, is the year under Dr. Tim's. On a smaller bottle, I'm not gonna buy a huge bottle, I don't need it, but like under smaller bottle, it's 2023. Like that's a long time ago. That's 2 years ago. So that's something to think about, right? And of course, like, the people there have to be nice, right? The employees, the owners, everybody's got to be really nice. I love talking to people, right? I'm like one of those people that like enjoy talking to others. So you got to be nice, right? And you don't have to be like outgoing, and you don't have to like talk to me forever, right? But like, if you're nice, that goes a long way, right? Like that's one of the things that I really favor, almost over their display tank and their cleanliness of their tanks and in general, right? So we did find Microbacter 7 at Aquarium Art. So we got one of the 2 bacteria that Chris is looking for, which is great news, because at least we can start there. As you saw, the Dr. Tim's is really more for like new tank syndrome, so it's really more for the fish, whereas to the other one is really more for the bacterias, right? I don't know, is it? Am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. And then so there are a couple differences between them, right? So the Microbacter 7 kind of really concentrated on the bacteria and feeding the bacteria. The Dr. Tim's was really more about like, hey, add fish as soon as possible, like right away, like no new tank syndrome. And then the Fritz zyme was more like, hey, we're adding bacteria and we're adding enzymes, right? I think all of these still need ammonia. I have some ammonia for Chris, so maybe that's enough for his tank. I don't think it is, but we have enough, or just a little bit to kickstart it. So we'll see if he wants to do that. But yeah, the next thing that I want to show you guys is a little bit of Chris's house, right? So I did go over there. I've been helping him out now for, I guess, almost 6 months to set up this tank. And it's almost done. We're almost there. And I want to show you just how close we are. Chris is setting up this custom 66-gallon water box. He just got in his new sump, so we're ready to plumb. We did plumb it, but we had issues there. I also put his RODI system up on the wall, so now it's out of the way. This is the problem that we're having. This is how it's supposed to be drilled, nice and even to where the return is. I've never set up a fish tank with the sump or anything like that. I'm just helping him out. And you know, first time for everything. We're trying out all sorts of different things to make all this fit. And this felt backwards to us because Waterbox has a bunch of videos, and it's like the videos are like old and they don't really show this design. But here you can see the holes kind of weighted kind of almost towards the front, you know, not really weighted in the middle like that last hole, the small hole to the other ones. It's hard to tell here. In here, let me zoom in here for you. You can see it's hard to tell in this one. Maybe this one here is a little easier. But yeah, you can see the alignment of the hole with the return holes aren't exactly where they need to be. It's almost like the emergency drain is in the right spot, but the actual return is not in the right spot. We took it apart and put it back together a bunch of times, and I wasn't really able to get it to line up. This one here is kind of like as close as I got. That's a good image because you could see the return is a little bit further back, right? And also you could tell where it's cut is kind of like a little too high. It's just a tad too high compared to the actual like return holes, right, where you actually connect the nozzles to. And you could kind of bend the tube a little bit to make it fit, you know what I mean? But you can't really get the short side. This has like a long side and a short side. This short side, which is where this image is being taken from right here, just really doesn't line up right. You can see that's kind of like, that's where I have it if I push it forward and put it and align it right. And this is kind of like if I don't touch it, that's kind of like where it sits. So it's not quite perfect, but I do think it's workable, and it could definitely be that we're doing something wrong, right? Because it's our first time doing this. I think if we were to cut it down, like cut the return pipe down by just like 1/8 of an inch or whatever, I think we'd be able to make this work for us. But yeah, we weren't able to make it happen. We also have to get hoses and clamps and figure out what sizes we need in order to finish plumbing the sump. So we got highs and lows at Chris's house. And, you know, to be fair, I was bummed. You know what I mean? I was pretty bummed. I was hoping to leave Chris's house in like a form where like we'd be able to like, he'd be able to just fill it up with water. We weren't able to get there. That was a shame, you know? But like, it's almost like we're setting ourselves up for failure because of like our expectations. Like our expectations are getting ahead of us. Like, we really want to get to Skellyfest with cycle tanks. Chris is definitely running out of time. I'm cutting it super close, I think. I don't know if I will be. And Chris ordered he ordered for us, right? He ordered for us from Algae Barn. That should get here on Monday. So like we're cutting it super duper close for Skellyfest, because Skellyfest is right around the corner. Right, Skellyfest is right around the corner. It is another 7 days away. I'm excited. I actually went to their floor pan and I opened a tab with every single one of the websites and vendors that were available, and I followed each one of them back and I checked out their websites, so I'm kind of informed on everybody that's going to be there. There's going to be lots of awesome like local or like private coral vendors. I don't know if you could call them that, but yeah, I'm excited to see what they got. I just want to look around and see like the crazy, because like I have no way am I gonna buy some crazy thing to bring home, right? Because it's like my tank isn't even cycled. But I definitely want to go look at it, right? And I'm gonna show you guys. I'll film for sure and I'll show you guys. I'm hoping to see zeros for my ammonia and nitrite very soon. I would think by maybe Wednesday would be awesome, right? Wednesday would be awesome to start seeing zeros. I feel like if I'm able to get it up or going by Wednesday, Thursday, that means I have Friday, Saturday to like kind of really chill the aquarium out, turn on the lights, maybe start seeing a little bit of diatoms, and then maybe throw some snails in it. Yeah, that's I think the plan. I think that's the plan. Like probably add snails by Friday, and if I'm cycled. But that just kind of proves how like, man, I'm addicted right now. I'm addicted right now. If you are one of my clients and you're seeing this, I'm addicted to this right now. Give me till tomorrow or Monday or whatever, and I'll get your job out. But like, man, I'm Dunsky here. I'm real deep. And just to prove that, right? My buddy Chris had a couple things for sale used. This is another reason why I went over there, so I want to show you guys what I got. I got an AI Blade Coral Grow. It's new in packaging. I also got an AI Blade Coral Grow. It's also pretty much new in box. So these two are gonna be the powerhouse, right? Let's call them that, the powerhouse to the tank. And then the other thing that's really raw, and behind me the whole time you haven't even noticed. A Neptune Apex system. It is used. It is used both gently and abusively, right? So we'll see. I might need to replace some of the parts on it. That might be tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And I'll download the app. I'll connect to it for the first time. We'll see how all that works. I think that's gonna be fun. It's got the return pump. Got a bunch of stuff in it, so we got to figure out how to use all that stuff because I don't know how to use it. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, Chris helps me out. There. But with all that, right? I want to set up this Hanna checker. I haven't set up the tripods or anything like that to do it, so just give me a second. I'll be right here. Gonna grab my studio tripod is behind all that cardboard right there. I'd rather not move all that cardboard right now, so just give me a second. Let me actually, I'm gonna be talking away from Mike, so let me get this mic going. Check, there we go. So that way you guys can hear me anyway. Let me get this little mount off. Turn on this light. Perfect. So I'm using like the iPhone live capture system or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. It's fine, but if it's not connected to like lightning cable or to, listen to me, lightning cable, like an old man, like a boomer, if it ain't connected to the USB-C, it's hard. It doesn't work. Let me set this up. I'm almost there. All right. See what this looks like here. All right, so this is the Hanna checker. All right, this Hanna checker is pretty fancy. If let me move this out of here. This is pretty fancy if I don't say so myself. You know, that looks like the fanciest thing I think I've ever used. It looks, like I said in the last episode, sciencey. This had a bunch of instructions here, so I'm gonna pull the instructions out. And while I'm reading them, I'm actually gonna bring up the Safari here, because I have it up in Safari for you guys. Let me get it out full screen. I think that's what it is. 1 second. There it is. Way better. Alright, so these are the actual instructions. So let me read these here real quick. And we'll see if we can get these going. Let me make sure these are the same one. H178. Yeah, this is the same instructions. So, make this bigger. We're going to attach the pipette tip, and we're going to press the button down to the first stop. Immerse the pipette in the tip of the liquid, approximately 2 to 3 millimeters. Slowly let the button back to the original position. Wait 2 seconds. Remove the pipette tip from the liquid. Oh, so they're showing us how to use this thing. Let's see. So, transition here. So this is it here. So I guess it has a tip. Oh yeah, it has 2 tips. 3 tips. Guess we're probably going to be using this tip, because we're not that precise, or are we? Maybe we are. Are we super precise? Are we that precise? You know? I mean, look how small that hole is on the end. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. No, you can't. It's impossible to see it. And I think this was even thinner. Let me see. Somehow, impossibly, that one's thinner. Okay, so we'll use one of these fancy ones, and we'll hide this one back inside of the big one, so it's like saved, just like that. That's how we're gonna do it. So it's saying put it in, go like that, push it in all the way, and then pull it out a little bit, right? And then doing so, press the second button, stop. But it didn't say how much it delivers in that. It just says you can. Diffractor measurement. And make sure you're not dirty. Battery management tells you what battery to use. Recommendations for use before use. Make sure it's suitable for the environment you want it to be in. Okay, preliminary examination. Okay, these are all the things that should be in there. I'm sure everything's in there. This is like a brand new pack. Okay, let's move on. Is there a battery in there? Let's see. Doesn't feel like there is. Oh, there it is. Okay. So to change the battery, I gotta open this up. So let me grab a quick screwdriver here. I'll be right back. Let me see here. Take this one. Screwdriver. Believe it or not, I need a screwdriver for right now. Let's see. We do have here, this is a little screwdriver. Okay, there it is. This comes out somehow. It says the bottom of it comes out, but how? Let me find a smaller screwdriver. Maybe this. Let me see if this will work. A little smaller. Let me see if this will work here for us. Oh. Let me turn off this logo. And try this here. Alright. So let's see here. There it is. It did pop out. Get my fingernail under there. There it is. There it is. All this is supposed to slide out in some kind of way. Come on. See if I can persuade it this way too. There it is. There it is. Oh, it's got a little pin there. God damn. Okay. So it's got a little pin that it falls into. That's really hard to get out of there. All right, Hanna checker. Back plus that way. What do you think that means? That means plus down? I don't think that means plus down. Let's look at the schematic. Oh no, it looks like minus down. Yeah. So let's put it minus down. And then plus on top. And then go like this. And then kind of push it down into those pins. And then we'll introduce the screw. Oh, messed it up. Messed it all up. There we go. Boom. Oh, it worked. Oh, that means we got something. All right, cool. All right, so now let's see what we got going on. Maybe I could put this over here. And then that way when I talk this way, you hear me over here. Then when I go this way, you hear me on this mic. I think that's going to be better. All right, so errors and warnings. Measurement procedure. No, tips for accurate measurement. Shake the bat. Make sure it's all shaking. Add 1 milliliter of reagent. Okay, so turn on the meter by pressing the button. That's what we just did. All segments will be displayed. When the display shows add C1, press blinking. With blinking, press the meter ready. All right, whatever. Add 1 milliliter of the reagent A to the cuvette using the 1 milliliter syringe. Use a plastic pipette to fill the cuvette to 10 milliliter. Oh, this looks difficult. This feels difficult. Okay, we're gonna try it again. We're gonna read through this one more time. All right. We're gonna turn the meter on by pressing the button. Right. All segments will be displayed. That means everything turns on. Display shows add C1 with press blinking. The meter is ready. Right. Okay. So now we're gonna add 1 milliliter of the H1268 reagent A, which is this stuff, okay, to the cuvette. So, we're gonna grab. That's what these signs are. This is like the big piece, and this is a little piece. Okay, I got it now. All right, so we're gonna fill in one of these. Let me switch cams. I think I got it now. So what we're doing is we're gonna grab 1 milliliter out of here. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use the pipette to get 1 milliliter out, which is, where's 1 milliliter? It's like right there, 1 milliliter. We're gonna put 1 milliliter of this into here. 1 milliliter, boop, right? And then we're gonna fill this with 10 milliliters of deionized water. And then we're gonna mix it like this 3 to 5 times. And then once we're done doing that, we're gonna place this whole thing into here, boop, boop, right? And then once it's in there, we're gonna press the meter again. Blinking the meter is zeroed, right? Then we're gonna remove the cuvette from the meter. We're gonna unscrew the cap, and using a mini pipette, we're gonna add 0.1 of the sample cuvette. What's the sample? Oh, of our water. We're gonna add 0.1 of our water, and then we're gonna add 1 packet of this reagent B, replacing the cap, shaking vigorously for 15 seconds until the powder is completed. So we're gonna add the powder, right, to there, and we're gonna shake it for a while, right? So this will do 0.1 like this, just pushing it in and exhaling it, and then pushing it back out. That'll do 0.1. That's the idea. Okay, I think I'm getting it, right? Does it say here? It doesn't say. Touching pipette tip, press a button down to the first stop. Immerse the pipette in the liquid. Slowly let the button back to the original position. Wait 2 seconds. Remove the pipette from the liquid to dispense the liquid. Place the pipette. Yeah, so it's just doing it once. Wait, original position, first stop, second stop. Wait. Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay, I got it. There is a little thing there at the bottom. It feels different. Like this all feels the same, and then when you get here, it feels different. And then you push all the way down, and you're gonna release to there, and then you're gonna push in. That's 1.1 milliliter, and that's what we're doing of our salt water. And then we're gonna put the packet in. Let's get a packet ready. 1 packet of this stuff. How many packets do we get? We got a couple. I would have liked more. But we do got a couple in there. I'm gonna get a couple boxes of this stuff, I guess. Whatever this reagent is. Alright. So there's your packet. We're going to throw that in. We're going to shake it vigorously for 15 seconds. And then we are going to allow the air bubbles to dissipate for 15 seconds before taking a reading. I'm going to place the cover back in the meter. And we're going to close the meter's cap. Press a button. So we're zeroing the meter. And then we're going to add our actual stuff to it. Add this reagent. Shake it up. And then do it again. Okay, so seems easy enough to me. What I need to do now, right, is I need to find couple things. So let's see here. So here we go. Step 1 is to add 1 milliliter of the reagent. Let's see here. So let's grab this reagent here. I can't get to it. There it is. No, there's not. Wow, this is difficult. Hold up. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. I have to put it really close to my face, apparently. All right, there we go. All right. So that's it. We're gonna put 1 millimeter of this. I'm gonna push it a little bit more. There's 1 millimeter of this stuff. Alright, close this. Okay, so now what I gotta get is some RO water. Right? So give me a second. Let me get some RO water. I got 10 millimeters of RO water. All right, so it says it gets 10 millimeter, right? So that'd be to the test. There's a line here that says 10 millimeter, so. And then we're gonna finish this off like this. Finish this off like this. All right. So now added the 10 milliliters. Right? We've added the 10 milliliters of this stuff here. Let's see what else is what we got to do next. Now we got to add the 0.1 of the sample. So we got to get rid of this. So let's get some sample water. We literally need like a micro amount. There's a micro amount. And now we're going to use this fancy little, which doesn't cause an injector thing. Get to the first, push down, get to the first stop, push it all the way in, then slowly draw to that first stop, and that's 0.1 millimeter. Okay. That's it. So that's all of it. Now I get to put this top on it. Oh, I should have shook this first. Oh, I didn't do it. So now I gotta shake vigorously for 15 seconds. Shaking, 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 shaking. Alright, now we're gonna put it in the calorimeter. Oh no, I messed it all up. I was supposed to put it in here before. Alright, I gotta do it again. Alright, buy reagents. I didn't even put the goop in. Okay, fine. Very different. All right, so that was fail number 1, but that's okay. Yeah, it's a micro blooper. Try that again. Let's try that again. Okay, so we got all of our stuff again. All right, let's try that one more time. All right, so the first step is to put 1 milliliter of the reagent into here. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna grab 1 milliliter here of the reagent. That's about there. And then we're gonna put that into the bottle there. Perfect. So that's 1 milliliter of reagent. And then we're gonna grab 10 milliliters of RO. I brought the RO over here, so I have it here. That's RO DI water. Let me rinse out my little cup first. Throw it back out so I don't get. Oh. There we go. So we need here. Close this top. I know it's making some people nervous. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 10 milliliters of RODI water to here, which is right up to that line. I'm going to use this to get the rest of it in there. All right, so that's 10 milliliters. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push the button on the checker. Right, it's blinking. Are we doing it right? I'm going to close the top and bring it open down. No, it says C2. Let's keep going through here. How can I restart? Okay, so let's push it again. Okay, so now it's off. I did this like 3 times or 5 times, right? I'm gonna click it. It says press whatever. Add C1. So now we're adding our control. I'm gonna throw it into there. Close it, right? I'm gonna press the button. Leave it a second. I think you can see it from there. Perfect. Now it says C2. And C2 is to add 1 milliliter of your sample water. So here's my sample water. Get this out of here. Get this open. Well, I guess it's like 0.1, right? So I'm gonna push it down. That first stop. Push all the way in. And slowly release to that same stop. And then squirt all that stuff in. Okay. Then I'm gonna close this and I'm gonna shake it vigorously for 15 seconds. 2, Mississippi, 3, Mississippi, 4, Mississippi, 5, Mississippi, 6, Mississippi, 7, Mississippi, 8, Mississippi, 9, Mississippi, 10, Mississippi, 12, Mississippi, 13, Mississippi, 14, Mississippi, 15, Mississippi, 16, Mississippi, and 17 Mississippi for good luck. I'm gonna throw it into there. Close it. And we'll push the button again. And now we wait. Didn't read right. That is incorrect. It is not 200. Oh, you know what? We didn't add the reagents. We fucked up. We fucked up again. All right. We're gonna get it this time. I promise. Let me get rid of this, all this stuff. Oh, this is hard. This is hard for a stoner like me, for sure. All right, so here we go. This is a salt water. I have RO water, so let's do it like that. Let's get first. Let's push the button. Everything blinks. We're gonna add 1 milliliter, bro. Dude, I would imagine, dude. This is like a piece of shit. So much effort, so much brain power. Okay, I'm sure once I do it like once or twice, it's gonna be easier. But god damn it. All right, so we got that. Oh, none of it spilled. I promise. I promise none of it spilled. I promise none of it spilled. Okay, so that's gone. Now we're gonna add 10 milliliters of RO water to this. I'm gonna use my gallon over here off camera. It's gonna take a couple of these, but bro, I almost dropped all that stuff. All right, here it comes. Still a little bit left. Let's see. Right up to there. Okay. So that's where that goes. So now we're gonna move it back and forth 5 times, right? That's what the instructions say. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna throw it into here. We're gonna close the thing. Right? We're gonna push the button. It's gonna blinky. Okay, so now it says add C2. So now we open this. We're gonna add 1 milliliter or 0.1 milliliter or whatever the fuck this is. First stop, squish. Go back slowly to the second stop or first stop again. Squish all the way in, squish, squish, squish. All right, so that's there. And now we're gonna add the reagent. God damn it. This is what you're missing the whole time. It says scissors, but I think we got this. Oh, it's not gonna be intuitive ever, dude. That sucks. I think one day when I'm 90, it'll be intuitive. All right, there we go. All right, so let's not drop this. All right, here we go. Reagents are going in. Lots of bubbles are happening. Things are going on. Oh, let's not get it everywhere. Let's not do that. Let's get it in there. All right. All right, so now, dog, trust me. And then now we're gonna shake it. Shake it. One day I'm gonna get this perfect, Chris. Trust me. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get this in. Close it. What's that, 15 seconds? I don't know. That's another 5 seconds, so something like that is right. Let's push it. Now let's wait. I have like a couple granules that I missed, right? So maybe I missed some. See what we got. 200 is wrong. What am I doing incorrectly? Add 1 milliliter of reagent. Use a cuvette to get 1 milliliter syringe. Use a plastic pipette to fill the cuvette to 2 millimeter mark. Invert 3 to 5 times. Place a cuvette in the meter with the cap closed. Press add. C2 will blink. Remove the cuvette. Add 0.1 of the sample. Add 1 packet of reagent B. Replace cap. Shake figure 15 seconds. Allow air bubbles to dispense 15 seconds. Place cuvette back into the meter. Press the button one more time, and then it'll display. So it didn't work. For whatever reason. Even though this liquid looked completely different. It just said 200. So we're gonna try that one more time. Be right back. I'm gonna go rinse this out. Okay. We're back. Use a timer. Yeah, I got a timer. I'm gonna try again. But the thing is, it read 200 twice. That's no good. Maybe that's minimum. Maybe 200 is min. You know? So I'm gonna try that again. Here we go. We're gonna get 1 millimeter of the reagent. There you go. Boom. 1 millimeter of the reagent. I'm going to close the reagents. We are going to get 10. Fill it to 10 milliliter. Mark. So here it goes. There's that. There's that. There's that. All right, we're almost there. There you go. We're at the mark. So now, push our little button. That thing's gonna blink. I'm gonna move this thing 3 to 5 times. Right? I'm gonna dry it. Let's make sure it's dry, right? Let me make sure it's dry. It's waiting for C1, so we put in C1. I'm gonna push the button once. Okay, so now it says place a galvanometer. When the display add to C2 with press blinking, the meter is zeroed. So now it's zeroed to whatever my water is. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna add the 0.1 of this stuff, which is my salt water. There it is. And I'm gonna add yet another packet of this stuff. All right. Do I have a nice way to cut this here? Let me see. No, but I will make it. I'll make it like I made the last one. There we go. Oh, no. Almost. Watch me struggle here. Okay. Boom. So it's open. there's mostly, if not all of the packet. Make sure it's all in there. All right, so now we're gonna close the little capita, and then we're gonna shake it for 15 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, then close it, and then push the button again. And now we wait. Said 200. It doesn't really close. I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything. Like, it doesn't close all the way down, like it doesn't snap. Is it broken? You can see here, this is the dates on these. This one says expiration 0327. So this should be good. This should be good. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, just another negative data on top. You know what I mean? That's all I needed. That's all I needed. It didn't work. I was so expecting. What is it? The Let me see. What is it that it said? The reading that we got was the reading we're supposed to be getting is close to 482. I feel like 200 is just a min, like the min that it reads. I don't think that thing is working. Yeah, I don't think it's working. So I'll take it to Strictly Fish tomorrow or maybe Monday, and see if anybody knows how to use one, and see if they can figure out how to use it. But yeah, I don't really see it working. I mean, I feel like that was pretty close to what the instructions read. Yet nada. So yeah, we'll see if we can make it work in the next couple days at Strictly Fish. If not, like I gotta look at a video or two maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I read the instructions. You read the instructions with me. That's how it should work. But it doesn't work the way the instructions say to use it. So we'll see how that pans out. I have a feeling it's broken. I have a feeling this thing is broken. Because it's actually not closing all the way. There you go. There it is closed. There it is closed. To do like this. Let's see. It finally closed. I guess I have to push it really hard. But it just read 200 right away, instant. Like, it's supposed to take 2 minutes. Or no? Am I wrong? No, it says it'll turn off in 2 minutes. Allow air bubbles to dissipate 15 seconds before taking a reading. Let's go back in the meter. Press the button. The meter displays concentration in ppm of calcium. Mine does not. So, see, if it says 200, a blinking 200 indicates that the reading is under 200. It's not blinking. It's a solid 200. So it's broken. That'll be my luck for sure. That's my luck 100%. So hopefully in the next couple days, we see the fish tank get down to 0 ammonia and 0 nitrates. So at least we can start adding life to it. And then we'll find out what's going on with this reader, because definitely not working the way I expected it to. And then we'll try to set up the Apex, I guess, next stream too, tomorrow or whatever, or Monday. And I'll do that like I did this. I'll do that live. so you guys can see my trials and tribulations. And then maybe I'll make a recap as to how to like set it up like quick, you know? Maybe that's what I'll do. But yeah, that'll be on episode 10 of my Nano Reef journey. This is episode 9. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We've been live for a little while. It was kind of like a mix of both live and not live, right? And sometimes, you know, when you do it live, you gotta, sometimes stuff doesn't work, and you gotta take it like a champ. You know what I mean? We had a bunch of stuff that didn't work this weekend, so yeah. I'm gonna go eat some pizza. I'm gonna go drink another beer, and I'll catch you on the next episode